Okay, welcome. Happy to be sharing this with y'all this Monday. And the first thing I'll invite you to do is just allow your body to breathe in the way that feels most naturally pleasant. Remembering that there's no right way, no wrong way, just a continual practice of tuning in to what feels most naturally okay. The end goal of meditation isn't to make us into something, but to return us to our natural state. And so, with that, I'll offer reminders that nothing about you needs to be any different. That everything I offer is an invitation. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And you can always rely on any practices that serve you and support you. I'm here to provide scaffolding that hopefully helps you to feel nourished. And the final thing I'll offer and remind you of is that there's no such thing as distraction. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, outside phenomena, whatever it is, it's all part of the living, breathing fabric of the universe that we're all woven into. So you can take the next moment, connect with the sense of the earth beneath you. Then connecting with the sense of the space around you. And finally connecting with the sense of the sky above you. Really enjoying connection to the space around you. And then coming from that broader space, coming into connection with your personal space, the space around you that feels like yours. What feels like your personal bubble. And just bringing gentle awareness there. This practice is really one of connection and holding. And that if we practice enough, we can hold everything with ease and grace. And next, I'll invite you to come to your senses, first to your sense of sight. And just allowing your eyes to do what they naturally want to do, whether they want to rest, whether they want to wander, whether they want to fixate. Just attune to your sense of sight and really practice enjoying being in connection with the life force that animates your sense of sight. Taking the pressure off of seeking anything with your sense of sight, but just enjoying it as it is and as it naturally flows and unfolds moment to moment. And then coming to your sense of touch. and just enjoying being in connection with your sense of touch. Not trying to grasp for pleasure, but finding whatever natural pleasure is already here. Again, really trying to just enjoy being in connection with the life force that animates your sense of touch. Even at times where your physical body might be uncomfortable, that life force that's underneath all those things is always there, always accessible, and always something you can connect to. Continuing to allow your body to breathe in the way that just feels most naturally pleasant. Here you can also welcome any movement, stretching, shaking it out. Offering your body whatever it could use. We're not here for a strict discipline that says our bodies have to be forcefully still. We're here to find whatever form of movement invites us to feel the most deeply still. And what I mean by that is sometimes fidgeting or rocking back and forth can bring a deeper stillness. And sometimes it's physiological stillness that most stills our mind and body. Allow it to be an intuitive practice, something where you're getting to know your spirit. And letting it be a bit of a creative process. I'll also welcome you to make any sounds your body wants to make, sighs, yawns, burps, farts, groans, letting your body be a body. Sometimes we're so used to controlling and restricting our bodies in particular ways that we don't let ourselves have a full yawn or a deep sigh, even though they're natural ways that our body regulates itself. And next we'll invite a little bit of deeper breathing. And what I'll invite you to do is first breathe into the back of your lungs and allow your upper back to expand as you inhale. And then adding in your lower back on the next inhale. And then adding in your belly. Really allowing your belly to be soft as you breathe. Always just finding and attuning to what feels like the most naturally good way of breathing. When we're stressed and activated, we tend to just breathe with our chest and our necks. So breathing with your whole torso help to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is activated when you're at rest. And what we'll move into next is embodied self-compassion, or the simple practice of holding yourself with care, holding yourself with a sense of just right attention, direct and gentle support. And so to do so, first I'll invite you to come back to that sense of your personal space around you that belongs to you. And if that feels too abstract, you can just come to a sense of the outer limit of your body, where your body ends and the outside world begins. Once you have that sense, just practice holding the space around you with a sense of care. It could be that just this sense of gentle, direct attention is enough. Or you could call in a sense of warmth, a sense of light, a sense of a cool breeze, a sense of being held. Whatever is the most simple and direct way that you notice helps your nervous system feel good. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And then next, we'll focus on our spiritual emotional centers, focusing particularly on your head, your heart, and your belly. First, coming to your head, your brain space, and first just practice holding the space around your brain with a sense of care. You're not trying to make anything different. You're just offering it a sense of holding. If you run into anything that feels painful or difficult or confusing, you can also just hold those things with care. We're often so stuck in thought that we forget that our brain is a physiological body part that we can actively attune to and hold pleasantly. And from here, you can continue to hold just the space around your brain, or if it feels good to do so, you can invite that sense of care to fill up the space of your brain, front to back, side to side, top to bottom. Really enjoying the act of being in caring connection with the whole of your brain. Then you can also take a moment to hold the top of your head, your crown, with a sense of care, and your throat as well. Then next, coming to your heart space, practicing holding your heart with a sense of care. Place the hand on your heart if it feels supportive. And just holding the space around your heart with whatever it could use, whether it's more warm or cool, firm or soft, tight or loose. Really trying to attune on that nervous system level. What helps your heart to feel just right. And then, if it feels good to do so, you can invite that care to fill up the space of your heart, front to back, side to side, top to bottom. And then from here, taking a moment again to offer care to your throat space and also to your solar plexus or diaphragm. And finally, coming to your belly space, practicing holding your belly with a sense of care. You can place one or both hands on your belly. I like to give my belly a hug. Just offer the space around your belly, whatever sense of holding feels good. Really enjoying the act of being in caring connection. What happens over time with this practice is that you start to find that it takes subtler and subtler and subtler attention until you don't have to do anything at all. And that actually, to be in the most pleasant state is to be in the natural state. The state of being fully engaged without needing anything to be different than it is. Of being in caring connection with the unfolding of everything without trying to control the unfolding. And if it feels good to do so, allow that care to fill up the space of your belly, front to back, side to side, top to bottom. If you're not finding it already doing so, really allowing your belly to find its most natural shape, whatever shape it wants to be. And then offering care again to your solar plexus, your diaphragm, and also to your root, your pelvic floor and hips. Taking a moment to connect your whole spiritual emotional core from the top of your head to your pelvic floor, and offering care to the rest of your body, any places we haven't touched in your head, neck, and torso, and also through your limbs, your fingers, and your toes. Coming back and holding your personal space with care again. Noticing if that sensation is any different since we first did it. And then expanding to hold all the space you're in connection with a sense of care. Really enjoying being in connection with it, not trying to make anything different. And then we'll have some open practice. And what I'll invite you to do is just attune whatever feels most naturally, easily pleasant moment to moment. Could be internal things, could be external things. That sense of internal and external could dissolve and you could enjoy just feeling. Feeling interwoven with all that is. Whichever way you end up practicing, just continue to attune to whatever feels most pleasant. And whenever you notice yourself disconnected from that practice, just reattune in whatever way's easiest. We'll go for a minute or two. And we'll move to the last little portion of practice. And I'll guide you to practice receiving. And what I mean by that is first identify a source of support. Could be a loved one, an ancestor, a spiritual entity, a plant, an animal, a place. That helps you to feel nourished. And once you have a sense of that source of support, just practice inviting whatever whatever sense of nourishment and support is available, whether it's a little or a lot. Just practice receiving and enjoying whatever is being offered in this moment. And then we'll close the individual meditation portion of this practice by offering back. First, offering gratitude to all the beings that have supported and nurtured you to arrive here at this moment. And really take a second and enjoy giving and offering that gratitude. Offer love and gratitude in a way that feels loving and pleasurable to do. And then offer gratitude to yourself for all the effort that you've put in to build this life of yours. And really take a second and offer that gratitude to yourself. Building off our practice and enjoying the act of offering gratitude in whatever way it's showing up. And then finally, offer gratitude to all the beings that you get to love and nurture in this lifetime. Again, really taking this moment to enjoy that practice of offering gratitude, extending it out in whatever way feels most natural. Let it be an art form, not something you think you have to perform correctly at doing. Okay, okay. So I didn't have anything particularly planned to speak about tonight, but while we were sitting, the word love was coming through fairly strongly. And I think there's something recently that's been up in my practice in terms of the experience of unconditional love. Unconditional love in the sense of Hmm. In the sense of the fundamental nature of this lived reality, whatever reality is. Because I find through practice and through connection with others that gets more and more artful and attuned to the most basic foundations of intimacy, um, is that the fact of love is just there all the time. That when I feel most fully and naturally engaged and present, everything is enough as it is. And then with friends, romantic partners, family, I don't need them to be more for me, and I don't need me to be more for them or for myself. And this feels like a maturation of unconditional love because I feel like the idea I had of it growing up was much more of always feeling warmly towards another person or always interpreting their behavior in certain ways. But in so many ways, it's so much more fundamental and so much more honoring of the messiness and confusingness of this life. It's like the underlying equanimity, the underlying trust that all of this makes sense, even the painful and confusing stuff. Yeah, it's one of those things when you set off on a spiritual path and start meditating or going on different types of retreats, and pursuing whatever particular flavors you're pursuing. Um, you can have this idea that there's a place you get to um, where nothing hurts, where everything goes smoothly, where life doesn't feel like so much work. Um, but at least from my experience, that's not at all the case. It's much more so that it's a sense of equanimity that becomes more and more present, more and more just the foundational thing that's always there, even through confusion and grief and loss and bliss and what feels like sometimes miraculous connection and the whole spectrum of things that show up. It's just like no matter what shows up, I'm here for it. And there's less and less pull to escape. less and less pull to control. Less and less need to make things into my image of what life should be. And more of, wow, this organic being is kind of fun to hang out within. This environment is so interesting all the time. Even when I'm bored. So I think that's what I've got for tonight. I'm curious if people have questions, reflections, curiosities. Hey, Shayla.
Hi. Hmm. Thought maybe something would come up, but it was just kind of pure relaxation and not much came up. It was just quiet and comfortable. Yeah.
Can I ask
Can't
you,
complain about that.
can I ask you what it's like to just let yourself enjoy that relaxation?
Oh, it was just very comfortable and
And what's it like now? Like what
uh,
colors, sensations,
mm,
textures, images come up?
warm, soft, mm, easy. Mm, yeah.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing. It's
Mhm,
nice to share in that relaxation with you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the invitation to like hold, to just kind of I like envision it as like like little dogs that have like these little puppies and they're like licking them and like nudging them into like cozy little nooks and like all like there's like legs on either side and they're in there and like everything they need is like in this little nutrient rich space. And I just think about like holding in terms of like, I guess, support and care.
Yeah.
And I follow that stream and it keeps taking me to all these really like yummy little thoughts that are really quite enjoyable. And I think all of those invitations were contained within like an overarching invitation to like notice joy. I was gonna say seek, but I really mean notice, like
Yeah.
what is already present and like what are the aspects of that that feel really good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that because that's what I'm
Yeah.
aiming for.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and what you said about what'd you say? It was like a nutrient rich place or like a nutrient rich state or a nutrient rich ground or something like that. You use the
Holding
word,
ground? Is that what I said? Holding ground?
yeah, you said something like that. And yeah, there's a recognition that we're as beings, we're pretty emotionally nutrient rich. Like we can actually care for ourselves in really deep ways, and there's so much that's always there. Um, and in fact, we're always doing it. Um, but we get so caught up on, gosh, even at times manufacturing things to feel bad about.
Mhm.
um,
Or even kind of outsourcing that responsibility. I think like it's super easy to like come into this world completely dependent and to like skip the part where you learn that you don't require other people outside of you to hold you. I think that's really it's kind of an empowering thought.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And the sort of ironic thing is that the better you get at holding yourself, is you can get really good at getting nourishment in connection with other people, because it's not coming from a place of lack or demand. It's coming from a place of,
Mm,
I feel good and I feel curious about what we can create with each other.
mhm. Totally.
Yeah, Sheila already knows, has come to a few of my workshops and stuff, and we do embodied connection and communication stuff that's all about attunement and social meditation,
Mhm.
um, real time connection practices that essentially does a lot of this stuff, but in connection with others. Um, and the possibilities are pretty rad.
Yep, for sure.
Ah, are
Mm.
there any other questions or curiosities or reflections before I close the recording? Ah, well, thanks y'all for coming. And
Mm.
that's the end of this meditation session.